Me.
Yay!
Still not live. It still says off the air. Okay, we're live.
Yeah.
Hey everyone. Welcome to my dinner with Rez, except we don't have dinner, but I'm trying to make a reference to My Dinner with Andre. Did you ever see that movie?
Which one is it?
There was a movie that was just two guys sitting and talking in a restaurant called My Dinner with Andre.
It sounds familiar, but I'm gonna say no. Just in case.
Never mind, man.
I watch a lot of stuff, and sometimes I don't even know the name of it.
It was from the 80s. I can't remember when in the 80s.
Well, now I'm gonna go look it up and make sure. I guarantee I've probably seen it, at least something from it.
Well, you definitely recognize the actor in it has played a lot of bit roles later
Really?
on.
I love
Sean
acting like that.
Sean Riaz says hi. Hi, Sean, our first viewer.
Hey.
It says we have two viewers. Oh, one of them might be me. I don't know.
Davey is so funny.
Before we came on live, we were talking about how Rez had ordered the series Saints, which I have read. And I found out, I hope you don't mind me mentioning, Rez, I found out that you also were raised Catholic.
Yeah.
And I always feel that my being raised Catholic kind of affects my interests in my reading and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I have this childhood fascination with hell and the devil and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way, especially when anything mentions Dante Alighieri and the 9 levels of hell. Something about that just is always very intriguing to me,
Right. And the comic book Saints is very Catholic, or post-Catholic, you might say.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote it obviously has a Catholic upbringing, too.
Well, this will be very interesting. Dig into that.
Yeah. So, well, how about we talk a little bit about Shipwreck, because we said we'd talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a bunch of packages in the mail. I'll open them up and you can give color commentary, and then I'll kind of interview you a little bit. And we'll see how much time we have. So far, did you say you've only read issue 2 of Shipwreck, or?
No, I've read both issues, just one online, digitally.
One online and one you own physically.
Yeah. I own issue 2 physically.
So I think you understand it more than I do from our conversations on Twitter, but my understanding is this guy went into space and came back and has some kind of technology in him, and someone else came back from space with him, or was it from another dimension and not outer space? That's part of what I'm confused about.
Well, I don't believe it necessarily is outer space per se, but I think it is. He's definitely traveling from dimension to dimension with the help or aid of a device that he modified and implanted into his body that is helping him, I guess, thrust through different dimensions. And he initially went with a crew, so we don't know yet if it's space, but I have a feeling that because his name is Jonathan Shipwright, it has something to do with the sea. So maybe it's more so a sea, themed type of travel, and he's traveling in different dimensions through sea travel. But that's just my assumption. But
yeah,
from what I'm gathering, he. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
What I'm gathering is he went in with a crew, and not everyone survived, but him. He survived. He was like a lone survivor, except he wasn't. There was one person that actually got away, and he's trying to find, because he thinks that person is a saboteur.
Hi, Jared Osborne. Great to have Jared here. He always understands comics better than we do, right? At least when they involve Terry Moore.
Yeah, I know.
Right here it says he was on the Janus mission, a deep black test flight. So I guess that's why I assume space.
Yeah,
that doesn't really say it's space.
I was assuming that too, but then I just kept thinking, they're really utilizing a lot of the themes that are somewhat ships and nautical. Like, remember the opening scene where he's reaching up and there's a lot of water around him?
Right, he looks like the survivor of a shipwreck in that opening.
Exactly, that's why I assumed it was nautical. And
yeah. But then when we see him, I mean, at first I thought he washed up on the shore, but now with the 2 issues, I feel like he's kind of just wandering through a wasteland almost. And I was shocked when Warren Ellis called the wasteland America.
I'm not. I mean,
I thought it was England.
Maybe, he isn't he from England or something? Yeah, from England. So maybe America is a wasteland to him.
Well, I always think British writers love to set all their stuff in America, and some, like, I was shocked to discover that Judge Dredd is supposed to be set in America. To me, that was so British.
Yeah.
They have this imaginary America in their head, probably. I don't know, based on movies and stuff, but
yeah.
But yeah, he's the lone survivor, and there's something called the auger, a tool for making a hole in. Wait.
Well, they use an auger in so many different ways. Like me, I know auger to mean omen, or abode, So like I usually use the word auger every now and again. So when I saw that, I immediately correlated it in my mind to defining the same way I use the word. How does this fare for you? Does this bode well for you? And so that my mind automatically to try to define it. But I think in here they're using it to, I guess, connect somehow to the travel of that particular ship.
Maybe the auger digs a hole between realities or dimensions or something. I'm just guessing at this point.
Yeah.
We've also got Roger 69501, the king of Puerto Rico in my mind. Yes. Roger is like my oldest YouTube friend, although we probably haven't chatted live in several years. And we've also got Ryan C, who says America is turning into a wasteland for us all. And so those are the people watching right now. And John Riaz says he hasn't read Saints yet, but he's digging that artwork style. Yeah, it had a very unique artwork style.
Yes.
Jared
I can't wait to see what
America
exactly
has
looks
lots
like.
of guns. That's why UK writers like to set their stories there. But I think America's so big, and people in the rest of the world view it through all these distorted lenses of the media, that they can project anything they want onto America. And I think American writers write about America in a different way than British writers do. But it's hard for me to put my finger on exactly how that is different. But
yeah, I noticed that too, especially when I'm reading novels. And you find that, like, for instance, when I'm reading anything by Stephen King and it's usually set in Maine, I get this feeling that it's a very quaint type of setting. It's very relaxing. Nothing happens there. Just a run-of-the-mill type of everyday town. But then you'll read something from a European, author, and it seems that it's complete opposite. It's chaos. It's depravity,
right.
Complete mess, and destruction. Right. So
we're like Dante's 9 rings of hell to them. They can all they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger, we definitely need to chat again. We need to figure that out. And Jared said we have a lot of guns, and that's true. We do have a lot of guns. Although I never see the guns, but maybe it's the state I live in. I know that some people I know have, what do you call them? Permits for hidden guns. But
I do. I live down south. Everybody has guns.
You're probably well trained with a gun, right? Since you're
I was an expert shooter when I was in.
I'm less sure about my friend at work, whether he should be carrying a gun or not. Hopefully he's not watching this.
Oh, man.
I'm just joking about him.
He's going to get you when he sees you.
Hey, I promise to give him 10% if I ever win the lottery, so he shouldn't shoot me.
10%, that's quite a bit, so.
Yeah, we have it.
You should ask him, give him 25,
But it just gets us through the workday, I guess. So yeah, I'm still puzzling. It seems now like in Shipwreck he is maybe each issue in a different universe, but I'm not totally sure about that. And in both issues he meets some kind of killer woman with an eyeball obsession. She
Yeah.
dies at the end of issue 1, and then shows up in issue 2, but I don't think she dies at the end of issue 2 again.
No, but you know what?
Uh,
I think it's the same woman, but she just looks. Her appearance changes within each issue, just as the dimension changes.
right, or a different version of the same woman, since the
Yes.
exact same woman is dead. Has a
Yeah.
skewer going through her ear.
Exactly.
And she does at the end say, "I'll be seeing you, Dr. Shipwright."
Yeah. I'm very curious as to why she has an affinity for eyeballs and maybe cooking people or
Right.
bringing people to death. I mean, because here she led him to that bell where they'll place people under that bell, strap them down to the ground, and ring it in order to crush their insides and then go feed them to the crows. So my curiosities lie in exactly why people are meeting such gruesome deaths, and why would they allow that to happen to them?
Right. Well, and the opening sequence of issue 2, which is just all about slicing up. At first, I didn't even realize the body was completely dead already as they started slicing it up.
Yeah.
And then the birds come and eat it, and the guy who did it gives him a long kind of monologue about death and Tibetan practices and things like that.
You didn't think it was odd how Jonathan Shipwright just stood there while this guy was just getting sliced open? Like,
It is.
I was like I would have been running. I wouldn't even ask any questions. I wouldn't have posed on why he's doing what he's doing. I would have been a little too nervous. Even I mean, I know he's traveling from different dimension, and
Right.
the device is kind of wrecking his mind a little bit, and he's wandering, and he's just a little delirious. So he's in a state of delirium. But I still would be a little nervous about seeing someone's body get torn to shreds like that.
Seeing a guy slice up a body, you might want to walk in the other direction and not just walk out with him.
Yeah, I guess his curiosity was pretty piqued.
Well, that's one of the aspects of Shipwright to me, and I guess why it seemed like a play to me in a way, because the characters all seem a little abstract and not quite. They're not your traditional fleshed out fictional characters. And sometimes in plays, people seem more like, certain kind of, the most extreme would be like Waiting for Godot or whatever. The kind of abstract play where people aren't really people. They're just ideas walking around on stage.
Yeah, I could see that. I remember you saying that. I thought to myself, yeah, it does seem that way, because especially when the woman was giving her monologue about the boyfriend in issue 1, when she felt like she's paying for him to leave her, and there's no guarantee that he will come back to her. So she had to kill him. And, maybe her eating him was some way of bringing him closer to her, guaranteeing that he would stay.
And how come in the kitchen there, as she's boiling up his body parts, did he just hang out and listen to her monologue without running away right away?
Again, I wonder what exactly is going on where people are allowing themselves to be mutilated in such a fashion.
Yeah. It could also be that he's supposed to be in a state of shock because he survived some kind of bizarre journey that he went through. He does eventually, with the woman chopping up the boyfriend with the eyeballs, he does eventually get kind of shocked and try to run away. The other thing I noticed is there's a visual theme of birds going through. So there's tons of birds that come and eat the dead body in issue 2. But issue 1 begins with birds flying above him in the sea, and one of them is carrying an eyeball.
Yeah, which I thought was his eyeball initially.
Right.
Did you think that as well? Yeah, I thought it was his eyeball, but then when they came down to his body and then we saw that was he had both his eyes, I said, oh, okay. Okay, he has both his eyes, good.
Unless they got his eyeball in another universe, and then when he came to in the next one, he had it. But yeah.
Could be. We never know. I think it would be quite interesting if they went to the next issue and he runs into another version of himself,
Right. Also, at the beginning of issue 1, I now notice he might be following the crows to that bar he ends up at.
Yeah, that could be, yeah.
And maybe he's actually wandering around following crows, and that's why he ends up with this guy killing the body.
I honestly think that those birds have a lot to do with the omen factor. Augur, like I said again, is ill omen, and I think that the birds signify that. I think that's the significance of those birds constantly circling around, constantly ravenous, wanting to feed. And we don't know the fate of this Jonathan Shipwright. We don't know if he's gonna reach the end alive or dead.
Right.
Most likely dead. Though.
Or if he's already dead. Maybe he's going through the circles of hell.
Yeah. This could be honestly.
You're exactly right about the birds. Birds, ravens, and crows are augurs of death. So this is probably the most death-obsessed comic I've read.
Yeah. For sure.
Jared Osborne says, Nudity and Killer Be Killed #4. Rez should order her copy now. I assume you have a copy coming your way.
Yes, I sure do.
And I just read it at lunch today, and there's two nude scenes, or sex scene and a nude scene.
Yes.
Getting a reputation.
Yeah. Honestly, it's my fault for pre-ordering from Tfal. They're they're absolutely horrible. They take forever to get to me. I get my stuff like 2 weeks after everyone else.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know. I might just honestly read it in the Second and Charles and just wait for my copy to get to me.
Or read it illegally and you're still getting your physical copy, so you.
Yeah.
I
can do that. There's a lot of little illegal reading.
I don't think it's a big deal, especially if you're paying for it anyway. So then Sean says, to quote that song from the first episode of Portlandia, the dream of the 90s is alive in Portland.
I love that song.
Maybe that's a reference to my talking about America seeming different to us Americans than people from other countries.
Yeah, it could be.
And Sean says, OMG, Shipwreck has some sweet artwork too. I love the artwork.
Oh yeah, me too. It's something that you don't run into very often.
And I've seen Phil Hester artwork elsewhere, and I liked it, but I think he's maybe upped his game here even more than what I've seen him do before.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what he's done. He's done some DC comics, some Vertigo back in the day when there was more Vertigo. Mm-hmm. Jared Osborne says, crows are augurs of death. They do woodworking. Yes, that's exactly what it's. Augurs of woodworking death. I think Rez has muted herself for the moment.
Oh, sorry.
You need to take a break to manage.
No, I actually hit it.
So, yeah, I wish, well, when you do, we should have discussions of things like Kill or Be Killed, but we'll have to wait till another time. Did you get the Forevers? Or the first
no, I have yet to dig into that series. What is it about?
I would say don't waste your time.
Okay. Because, it never really called me. There was a variant cover, a Fried Pie variant at Second and Charles that was done by, I think, Templesmith. And I usually get a lot of his covers anyways, since he's not doing anything mainstream anymore. But I passed. I passed on it.
It seems to be the only. I told my shop, go ahead and get me all the Black Mass comics, but it seems to be the only one my shop manages to get. And the art is very it actually looks like photographs that have then been photoshopped to slightly look like paint.
Is that Kurt Russell?
It looks like Kurt Russell, doesn't it? So it's about a group of people who do some magical thing that makes them all rock stars or famous actors and stuff, but now someone's trying to kill them 15 years later or 10 years later.
Oh yeah, it does sound like Wicked Divine to me.
It's amazing to me how I think this is just photographs. So anyway, that was surprising. Did you try out Namesake? Oh, either I've frozen up or Rez has frozen up. I'm not sure. I never know what to do. Because it could be my internet. It could be something to do with Rez. Can anyone in the comments tell me if they can hear me? If they can still see me? Okay, so it's Rez. Rez has disappeared. I am still here. Let me see if I can send Rez the link again.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay, great.
Yeah, my thing it just died out of nowhere.
I'm afraid to show you that comic book again. It might knock you off the internet.
Oh, you gotta tell me what is it?
I was just curious whether you had read Namesake.
Oh, yes, I did. I did.
Uh-huh.
We should talk about that. There were some things. There was so much being thrown at me, and in the first issue, that I felt a tad bit befuddled reading it.
Yes.
Like I really liked it, but it was a lot of information.
I read another Steve Orlando indie book like a year or two ago called Undertow.
Yeah.
And it was very cool, but very confusing. And in the end, it never came together. So when Namesake was kind of like that, I decided to tell my shop to drop it.
Yeah.
But I might read it all when it's all done. I might read the rest of it.
You think this will come together because it's going to be a 4 or 5 issue series?
It says 1 of 4. Yeah.
4.
So I don't know if it'll come together or not.
I mean, I liked it a lot, and I want to see more on this whole him having 2 dads. Does he have a mother? Is this in this world that's seeped with magic? It's just completely
right. Where his 2 dads maybe had him as a child through magic, or
yeah, I'm curious. Is it that how they were able to have him, or did he have a mother that maybe carried for the fathers? I'm curious to know how that actually came to be. And then I'm also curious as to the 2 names that he uses. He uses Jordan, and then he uses what's the name with the M?
I've forgotten.
Something. I got the variant cover too. You should see that variant cover I got.
Oh, yeah. I think beautiful. I saw it on one of your hauls. I didn't even. Is it more like a painting or something?
It's like red foil on it. It's white. It's a white cover. It's like virgin cover with with red foiling on it. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and I like the interior artwork quite a bit, and the coloring is really kind of nice and unique.
Yeah, I honestly have to say that out of all the Boom Studios comics I'm reading at the moment, the art was for me a lot better in terms of what I'm seeing from Boom.
Yeah, I agree. Boom sometimes goes for kind of a more boring art style.
Yeah. And I kind of feel that way sometimes about Valiant. Like, I'm not really the biggest Valiant fan, like, of their art. I feel like it's really reminiscent of what you would see in the, I guess, early 90s for Image. And that wasn't my favorite art style.
Yeah, no. Few of us anymore. Like, at some point, everyone loved that art, but now not so many people do.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants a new contemporary look now.
I want to say hi to Rob Wise Guy 82, great guy on the YouTubes, and we've got someone else whose name's unfamiliar to me, Jerason1. He says all good, so hi Jerason. I'll check out later if you have a channel. We have 7 viewers now.
Woo!
You're used to having a lot of viewers. I'm not.
You're making me blush.
So, and you're going to be getting Lady Killer, is that right?
I have it on hold. Yep, I have it on hold. I read volume 1, mm-hmm. and so I just need. It was issue 1 and 2 of this next volume, and then I already have that issue you just held up. I have it on hold.
Oh, you have this coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's issue 3. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not even quite sure why I like Lady Killer so much. I mean, it's kind of a simple story.
Oh yeah,
but it's
sure.
Just right, and so I just really enjoy it a lot.
I can tell you why I enjoy it. I enjoy it mainly because of the art. It's so nice to look at. Like, it's just so different. I just like the way the women are drawn. I like the coloring. But the thing is quite simple. I mean, you have a woman virtually who's playing housewife. This one-time era that women that's what they were. They didn't do anything but be housewives. And, undercover, she is a assassin.
And I get the feeling like Joelle Jones is maybe drawing what she loves here, and her pleasure in drawing this imaginary early 1960s or not so imaginary, except for the killer part,
Yeah.
really comes through on every page.
You know, I feel like when I read Lady Killer, I feel like I'm actually getting excerpts out of Fargo. I don't know if you watch that television show, Fargo.
No, is it?
It was a movie.
I
It
remember.
was
I
based
like
off
the
a
movie a
movie.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies by the Coen brothers, but it reminds me of scenes that I would find in a Coen brothers movie, or either out of the new show that they based it off of the movie.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Coen brothers connection there.
Yeah.
I have to. There's so many bloody covers. I have to find a place to hide them from my daughter because she'll have terrible nightmares.
Yeah, yeah. I have to hide a lot of stuff from my kids too.
I was also curious if you ended up reading Archie Meets Ramones. That's kind of old now, but
I actually started reading it when I was in, cause after you told me that it didn't really have any significance with the Ramones. Per se, I was curious about it, so I started flipping through it, but then I had to go. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and probably finish it.
yeah. Maybe if you can read it without paying it, that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I usually do with some of those comics. I'm like, I'm okay for that.
I'm kind of a Ramones completist, so I have to get it. But it seemed like a real missed opportunity.
I'm really fond of Archie comics as of late, though.
I haven't seen many people talk about it. Just I know a lot of people bought it, but I never heard anyone talk about what they thought about it after they read it. Samuel Trejo is here, great YouTuber with really good taste in comics, or at least Samuel's tastes often line up with my taste in comics, I should say. And Rebel Comics and Gaming. He says, Rebel in the house. Hey, Rebel. And so I'm going to be self-indulgent here. I got a bunch of packages in the mail. So I'm going to open them up. Where did I put my scissors? Maybe I won't open them up if I didn't bring the scissors.
You can just do the He-Man and just rip it open.
This one is really tough. Do you remember, I had to do I don't know if some of you saw my favorite covers thing that I did recently. And one of the covers was from Heavy Metal. Oh, there we go.
Oh, man, I love me some Heavy Metal.
And the Heavy Metal cover was by this British science fiction artist named Jim Burns. And I've always really liked him. And what's happening to me lately is I'll be reminded of something that I liked in the past, and I'll go, hey, how much does it cost to get that book now? So it was like just a few dollars used on Amazon. So I got 2 Jim Burns art books.
Wow.
I can't remember what I paid for it, but this is a hardback book. Probably I paid like $6 or something.
That is beautiful.
So he did a lot of those kind of spaceship and alien city kind of drawings. So they're not all like his Heavy Metal cover was, but so my problem is I keep finding out how cheap everything is and getting it, and then I have too much stuff.
That's what happens when I go to Amazon too. I'll find something for like 99 cents and then only the $4 shipping, so $5 total.
Right. Yeah. So
I like that one.
That's fun. I didn't know which. So I ordered two Jim Burns books because they were so cheap. So let's assume this is another one.
I've been on a Richard Corbin kick myself. Been ordering a lot of his books.
Yeah, I should look and see what of his books you can get cheaply for. I mean, they used to be very expensive because they would go out of print very quickly, but that was in the day when you couldn't get everything online. So this hardback one's called Hyperluminal, and then I guess he had another one called Transluminal. This one's a more beat up copy, and it's paperback. But so I think I want to start collecting more art books. I wonder if there's a Richard Corbin art book somewhere.
Give me one moment.
Sure. You're going to go. So Rez is off to herd her cats, or her lovely children, to be more exact. Let's see. We got Mr. Gretzky 9966. He says the book looks good. Anything going on, Roger? So I guess when Rez gets back, I'll open up. I think this is contest winnings in here. It came from New Jersey. So I won a contest with Herc Collects. Is that his full name? Anyway, so I think this might be from him. I don't know if he lives in New Jersey, but I get the feeling he lives in the New York area.
Okay. I'm back.
So I think this is my contest winnings from Herc Collects, but I'm not sure because there was no name on it, just an address from New Jersey. And I don't know if he lives in New Jersey or not. So let's see. I think what I won from him was some variant covers. It's weird entering these contests and then you don't even think, or I don't even think about that I was going to win anything. I just want to, it's like a tag or whatever.
It's always the best part, when you don't know you're gonna win and you do.
So let's see. Well, that's interesting. It comes in a Rolling Stone cover. That's an interesting way to pack things. And then we've got 2 comics in Mylar that are taped together. Where are my scissors? Yeah, so these are the variant covers I won from Herc Collects. He had that contest that caused me to give my little talk about Headlopper.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that video.
So I don't normally get these fancy variants by, can't quite, this is Michael Turner. Is Michael Turner alive, or are these old pictures by Michael Turner that they put on covers?
That's nice.
And this one is also Michael Turner. So these are Michael. I thought Michael Turner's dead. Or am I confusing him with someone else? Is Michael Turner the guy who did Fathom? And I haven't read Rolling Stone in years. So, so big thanks to Herc Collects. I suppose burying my unboxing of his gifts. I probably should do another video. And then I won a contest from, I forgot the name of their channel, Alyssa and Brian, who live very nearby. Oh, I flashed their address. I apologize for that. And did I lose Rez again? I'm going to just forward that. Oh, what's this? I'm not sure what this is. I mean, I know it's a poster of Hawkeye and Captain Marvel, and it's signed by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Matt Fraction. Limited edition print for the Girls Leadership Institute, 71 of 100 from 2014. Wow, that is really cool, Alyssa and Brian. Alyssa and Britton, I'm sorry, not Brian, Britton. I knew the moment I said that that was wrong. Jared Osborne says Turner is dead. So these variant covers by him must be old artwork he did in the past. Hey, we got a new Rez.
Yes. The other one, we're waiting for her to...
The other one's still there, kissing a pillow or something. Is that what you're doing in that picture of you?
Yeah, I'm kissing my comics.
Okay.
There, yeah, I was in love.
So I was showing, I got also won Alyssa and Britton's contest, which I think.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
This is a limited print signed by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Matt Fraction for something called the Girls Leadership Institute.
Yeah.
I wonder who the artist on there was. JM or IM? And then Alyssa and Britton also sent me. Oh, that's interesting. So this is the Vision and Scarlet Witch, the full miniseries 1 through 12. That probably is from the late 80s, I'm guessing.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Not at all your modern comic book art style. Maybe there's
I ran into a few issues of that.
maybe there's some key issues in here that I don't know about. Anyway, so then they also sent me something else. They sent me this giant envelope. And they sent me some trades also. Captain America Into Dimension Z. I actually have read this. I might re-gift it myself. Oh, this is really cool. Ms. Marvel from the 70s. Two Ms. Marvels from the 70s. So that's quite cool. I always like to pick up Ms. Marvel, but I haven't picked up nearly all of them. Oh, and an older Captain America, I think. I have not read this, so that's really cool. Captain America Forever Allies by Roger Stern and Dragotta. Mm-hmm. Must be early work by Dragotta, who does East of West.
Oh, yes. I love that series. Are you still keeping up with that one?
I am getting that in trades. So I'm getting that in hardbacks. So I'm way behind.
Yeah, see, I'm behind it just as much as you because I got it in hardcover too. So
I think if in an ideal world, or maybe someday, I'll switch over to collecting everything just in hardbacks. It just takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, I honestly, before I started doing videos, I was only collecting in hardbacks, and I wasn't thinking in terms of waiting forever for something until you start collecting singles.
Right.
When, then you're like, oh my God, when is it going to come out in hardcover? And you realize the process for that is so long compared to how they usually would just have the trade come out right after the 5th issue or 4th issue comes out.
Yeah, I wish the hardcovers came out sooner.
Yeah, me too.
In books, in novels, a hardcover is the first thing that comes out.
Yeah, it's a little backwards in the comic industry.
Then they give a big paperback and then a little paperback. So it seems like it's reverse in comics in a way.
Exactly.
Is this the same Dragotta? By the way, Jared Osborne said that Turner died of cancer and that he did a lot of art to leave behind when he knew his days were numbered.
Oh, so wow.
That's pretty amazing that he was thinking in terms of variant covers before he left.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Maybe it was to leave money for his family or something.
Well, that's a good thing,
Yeah, the art is by Paulo Rivera and Nick Dragotta in a lot of this. So, but Nick Dragotta's artwork, maybe that's Rivera. I don't know. I'll have to look through it more later. So kind of amazing to win 2 contests in a row and get the packages on the same day.
You're worth it.
Thank you. I've got too much stuff, and I have to move to another house. We have an amazing 11 viewers. Wow. To me, that's...
That is a lot, isn't it?
So hello to everyone. This is just very free form. I think I'm going to try and... Because there's still some things I'm curious about you, Rez, and maybe you've said them in... you've put out so many videos, and I've watched a lot of them, but maybe I've missed them if you haven't. So when did you first read comic books or comics of some kind? Graphic novels?
Well, I guess it depends on where, what you consider a comic. But I started off with comic strips and political cartoons as a child.
In the newspaper when you were a kid, or?
Yeah. I used to. My mom would just give me the whole paper, and I would just dig right to the political cartoons and then go to the funnies. And that was my first dip into illustrated works, And I abandoned that after, I want to say sometime in middle school, mid-middle school. Once I got into junior high, I started reading manga. So manga was my thing for a little while, and I was really huge into manga. And that was like my comics for a while until...
junior high was about 6 years ago, right?
Yeah, because I'm only 21. I mean, manga for a while, and then I jumped into the trade paperbacks because it to me was similar to the same format as a manga, and then I focused on hardcovers and found myself really interested in tracking down out of print works. So I kind of focused on getting a lot of out of print things, and then I started doing singles. So I kind of went backwards a little bit.
So when you switched from manga to, I assume, then American graphic novels, or American and British graphic novels probably, did they seem strange to you at first? Was that a culture shock going from one to the other?
I think the only culture shock I experienced was the illustrations and the color. You know, you don't have color in manga. That's really odd. And I guess for maybe a issue or two, or a book or two, I had to adjust to the format of reading from right to left.
Right.
You know, in an S pattern. But yeah, initially your eyes. But you know, I'm pretty much an advanced reader, so I can just put anything in front of me and read it pretty well.
Right. Right. So, do you remember what any of those early Western were that you first started picking up? I'm just curious.
Let's see.
It's not a quiz.
Okay, well,
I look like a teacher in the comments, but.
Well, I know you already know that some of the mangas I started off with, it was Chobits.
Chobits one of them.
You know, Chobits was one of them, and Love Hina was one of them as well. Let's see. I know I used to read Mad Magazine too as well. That was something I read. That's not really a comic, but it's a zine. I kind of still consider it in that same world. I read a lot of Doonesbury. Non sequitur.
Non sequitur.
Yeah, is it non sequitur? You remember that little series? It's a little comic strip.
Well, no, I think so, but non sequitur is a kind of English phrase or word. So
I think it's non. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But what did I know? I dug into some Hellblazer. At one point, wasn't really the hugest John Constantine fan.
So because when I first started watching you, it seemed like you were reading, you know, the really out there indie trades and hardbacks and stuff. When did you think you ended up in that area? Is that recent, or have you been reading?
No, that was a few years ago. I jumped into all that stuff like. I don't know. It was just really sudden out of nowhere. I guess I got tired of, you know, reading certain things. I was reading a lot more novels at the time, and I was like, I need something else. So, you know, of course, graphic novels are the closest thing to a novel because sometimes the graphic novels are adapted into a graphic novel. So I transfer right into different works from that. So. Yeah, I kind of started collecting a lot of things like Mobius, you know, some of the Metallic Memories, things like that. Even stuff that had no English in it. I was collecting things like that as well. Just picking it up, you know, enjoying it, and you know,
I was going to a lot of things while you were in Europe, or are you buying them in the U.S.?
Both.
By the way, Jared Osborne's Haul has just finished uploading, so everyone can go over to his channel. But we'll keep talking here. Want to keep watching.
I wonder if No Mercy already came out, didn't it?
I'm not reading No Mercy. Jared sounds vaguely disappointed in No Mercy in the recent issues, I guess, and in general disappointed that Carla Speed McNeil is not the writer on it.
He loves her.
She's his ultimate creator.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little confused. Was it issue 11, I want to say? So I don't know what issue 12 is going to do, but if it keeps going that same direction, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, it was one I was thinking about eventually reading in trade, but I don't know if I will or not.
I read it in trade originally. It was okay. I mean, it didn't really translate any more than reading it in singles.
I still need to read Carlos Speed McNeil's Finder. I have it digitally, but I haven't read it.
I still haven't. I've only finished half of one omnibus. They're huge.
Yeah, they are these big fat omnibus of Finders.
They are manga style.
I know that you do art. Is that like a whole separate thing, or was that inspired by your reading of comics to
I
take up drawing?
actually started illustrating, like just doing little illustrations and doodles, more so doodles. I just did that out of nowhere. It was the I guess the comics and the manga, that didn't really inspire that. I just one day picked up a pen and paper, and I did do art for a little while. I was in this one art class, and the teacher was she's very eccentric, and she liked to foster, any kind of artistic ability that anyone would have. So she saw something in me. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not talented. I can't draw. And she challenged me at one point to just, pick up paper and draw. And I did. And I did those illustrations I showed you. And she told me to start keeping a portfolio. And I abandoned it for a while. But just more recently, I'm kind of coming back into it.
You can try and steal Jared Osborne's job. Whatever.
I gotta get good first.
Yeah, actually, no one can imitate Jared Osborne's art style. It's very unique.
Very, very, very unique, for sure.
So have you ever tried any writing?
I think about writing. I do want to do my own little mini comic strip kind of thing, and I think that requires some kind of writing. Unless I want to do silent, which could always be something I do, but I'm quite fond of silent comics. But yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, I used to write poetry for years. I actually had some of my poetry published.
Oh, cool.
At one point. Yeah, but that's as far as writing as I've gone.
Travis Oddfellow Thoughts is a poet too.
Really?
Probably other poets hidden in the community. Who knows?
How interesting.
Boy, I've never seen this name before, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Ueopop Iugoyep. He picked up his comic pull and spilled coffee on his motor girl. Oh no!
Oh no! Man, that's horrible. And at least I have a second printing coming out.
Jared Osborne says, "Cue the Bee Gees tragedy."
Yeah. I reread that after we talked about it. We made that discovery.
Right.
I reread it and I enjoyed it. Again.
I still thought that I could see why I missed the fact that the robot was a figment of her imagination. When I reread it, I could see that the other character never spoke to the robot. I mean, not the robot, the gorilla. I'm sorry, the gorilla. Yeah. I guess it's been a long day. I could see why I was fooled. I don't think it was that. I don't think he went to any lengths to let us realize at some particular point that the gorilla wasn't real.
Yeah, I completely picked that up the second time around reading it.
Yeah, it was obvious that that old woman was not talking to the gorilla.
Yeah. It's kind of sad though when you think about it, seeing that she's held captive, in captivity for over a year. So obviously this has, this is where the root of the problem lies. Why she sees this gorilla, and it's helping her cope with her life at the moment.
Right.
I'm just really curious where the aliens fit in. I mean, I think obviously the corporation, they have some sinister plans, in place, and maybe the aliens were just something they were doing to drive her crazy. Maybe they know about her being held in captivity. That wouldn't be any kind of information that would be hidden from public knowledge.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
So, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm already writing the plot for him.
I'm looking at the comic book now. Luckily, I haven't spilled coffee on it. I guess the alien is real because it leaves a mark on her butt with its hands. A handprint on her butt. I don't know, but I feel like the alien.
They look like little people, though. Didn't they look like little people? More so than aliens?
Kind of. They have these cartoony faces. They look to me like something out of Looney Tunes almost.
Or even Peanuts.
Yeah, maybe a little like Peanuts. Yeah, Yeah, I guess we'll find out in future issues whether it's real or not.
Are you excited about it in the next issue?
I'm
You
not
sound
that
vaguely.
excited. I'm not that excited.
I can tell. I can tell.
I mean,
I
I'm
can
gonna
tell.
keep getting it because Terry Moore is a very unique creator, and I
Yeah,
certainly did like
Rachel Rising.
Rachel Rising a lot, and I want to go back and read his other stuff. But
Yeah.
and when I went to the comic book convention this summer or this fall, Terry Moore was my favorite person that I saw speak.
Wow.
So I'm definitely interested in it. I think I had the feeling. Well, of course, the way he talked about it, I don't think he mentioned if it was an imaginary gorilla or not when I saw him at the convention. But I had the feeling that the aliens are going to play a major role in the story. So I don't think they're imaginary or sent by a corporation, but we'll see.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell you're like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm gonna keep going for the ride, and we'll see how this plays out.
Gorilla.
Yeah. I was, honestly, I was okay with the gorilla maybe being real. I mean,
Right.
because I thought it was going to be some kind of world building that's going to go on. We're going to learn about this planet that's similar to Earth, maybe in a way where they have four 350s, 150s, or something like that.
Right.
So that was kind of very, very interesting to me because when you see the gorilla next to her, and she's talking about a Ford 350 heavy duty truck. I was immediately thinking like, oh wow, they have those where in this planet,
Yeah.
and then, but then
Right.
sadly, he's not real.
It does make, like you said, it makes her a lot sadder of a character. Someone who basically spends all her time alone, maybe just as she did when she was a prisoner, and
Yeah.
talking to herself, really.
And then too, knowing that Libby, the one older character who came to visit her, who owns the garage, the junkyard, knowing that she's in relation to the Strangers in Paradise universe, and I've only read an issue or two of that.
I didn't
But-
realize it was. Okay.
But isn't that more of a grounded series as well? I mean, there's wacky things that happen, but isn't it more of a realistic type of?
Sorry, Jared Osborne is making fun of me again.
for calling it a robot.
The Sleepy trudged through 50 issues of Batman Eternal, yet he can't get excited about Motor Girl.
Okay.
What can I say? I'm either excited or I'm not.
Yeah. Some things, they're just. Yeah.
I'll trudge through 50 issues of Motor Girl just to, I don't know, prove Jared wrong or right or something.
Very exciting.
Terry Moore doesn't world build, he character builds.
Yeah.
But see, that seems like a cop-out to me. I think you have to world build in a way, too.
Yeah.
You can't just character build.
Honestly, I prefer a world building story than I do characters per se, because when you leave it, you want to feel like you knew what was going on in that world, how what the rules, what the unspoken rules were of that world, and I don't know, I prefer that. Like I just read that Fourth Planet, that little indie comic from Chapter House, and although I found myself maybe rereading certain pages to remember the characters' names, one thing that stuck out to me was the world and the setting. That was very, very clear, and so I kind of prefer that sometimes.
Yeah, and if you're not grounded in a world of some kind, most stories are just going to be all floaty, and you're not going to relate to them. You have to have the character and the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why I trudge through so much Batman, Jared, but I just do.
You just love Batman.
I like Gotham, but I think they sometimes don't do such a good job on the world building of Gotham, or it's too loosey-goosey, in fact. But I did just drop Batman, but I'm still reading Detective.
I like Detective Comics. Like, I was able to jump right in there and feel just fine.
Yeah. Well, it's different with the Terry Moore thing. This is like a singular vision, but with something like the various Batman comics, they're good for a while, then they get bad, then they get good again. And some people are willing to just buy every issue and wait for it to get good again. And I kind of drop in and out depending on what's good or not.
Yeah, I would drop in and out quick. I'm like, I can't do this. I dropped I Hate Fairyland after, I think, issue 12.
Well, and I read the first arc of I Hate Fairyland, and I figured I've read it. Do I need to keep reading?
Yeah.
Everything needs to go on forever.
Yeah.
Jared says that's what makes Terry Moore's work different. They're not about plot; they're about relationships. Moore's world is mostly our world. Well, but does this feel like our world yet? I mean, we just have one person and their imaginary monkey in a junkyard. It might be our world, but it doesn't feel that way yet. And I guess the character relationships are her relationship with herself if the monkey's not real.
I love the analyzing.
Myself for being not quite so excited yet on Motor Girl.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I really I enjoyed it. It was an anticipated read, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen because you're right. I don't get that feeling that we're on Earth necessarily.
Right.
And I maybe it's just a spaceship. Maybe that's just, but something about it feels like it's foreign, and not foreign as in foreign in another country. Maybe foreign in another universe.
Yeah. But I suppose if it's like our world, then, well, maybe Terry Moore believes that there are spaceships visiting Earth, and so. But otherwise,
he said that in the back matter or the front matter. He said that he mentioned that there was that he desired to write it.
Stephen Hawking. I believe alien life is quite common in the universe, although intelligent life is less so. Some say it has yet to appear on planet Earth. So that's kind of a little joke at our expense, because.
Well, something else he wrote when he was explaining about his desire to write this story, but because he had something else dictated him in writing Rachel Rising first, or writing Echo first, and then writing Rachel Rising, and then he decided to finally have the time to dedicate to Motor Girl. But
right. He says a scary voice in the woods wanted him to make Rachel Rising.
Yes, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Now it's Motor Girl's turn at last, and I'm happy because gorillas have a temper.
Yes.
Oh, you're right. It does say, and UFOs. I firmly believe in UFOs.
Yep.
I've been hit in the head by many of them, later identified as footballs, frisbees, and frying pans. And it's true. You do see strange lights. So that's kind of ambiguous, I guess, as to whether he actually believes in UFOs.
Exactly. So I was thinking, like, he's kind of saying it, but not really,
But I know he's stated that this will be a short run. So
how short? You mean like 20 issues, 30?
Specified. So I'm not sure what he means, but I think maybe he felt kind of exhausted by Rachel Rising, and the money he earned on it kept going down and down. Jared Osborne, patience, trust in Terry.
And Terry we trust.
A completely unpronounceable person says Harley Quinn has fun and forgetful. Funny, Harley Quinn has fun and forgetful for me. It must be a typo there, but. Harley Quinn is all about character and not about plot.
I'm so not for Harley Quinn at all whatsoever.
I'm not a big Harley Quinn reader, but I like the idea of her.
Yeah.
So I think we should wrap it up here. We've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes, and things may heat up at home for me in a little while. But I'd like to thank everybody, and we've had a lot of people watching, starting with our first person, which was, I'm imitating you, Rez, because you always go through, because you're such a great host on your channel. Starting with Sean Riaz, and then Jared joined us, and Roger, and Ryan, and Mr. Gretzky, and someone, Jerason 1, Rob Wise Guy 82, Rebel Comics and Gaming, Samuel Trejo, Mr. Gretzky, did I already mention? Mr. Gretzky, 9966. Mass Panther was here. I missed seeing your comment. He just said, hi, Sleepy. And that totally Yui Yo Pop Yo Higgy. Not laughing at your name. It's really cool, actually. And if I probably were thinking closely, I could. It's probably a play on some other words that I'm missing. Oh, Gotham Central is here. That is Luke, I believe. I
love that. I love that omnibus.
We love reading you, Gotham Central.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if only you'd been here earlier to defend me for reading 52 issues of Batman Eternal.
I hope we can talk about Hellbopper one of these days.
Osborn's house next for not liking DC and Marvel. Luckily, I don't know where Jared lives. His name was a keyboard mashing, so that's a clever way to get a name.
Yeah.
Yui Pop Ayu Hog Yip. Now that makes sense.
Like a new form of onomatopoeia.
Okay, I'm really glad Rez and I were able to meet up this way, and appreciate your patience with me. And I'm sure we'll do some more hangouts in the future. So talk to you all, everybody later.
Cheers.